You're listening to Common Sense and Beer, where we talk about the heavy-hitting topics with a beer in hand. I'm one of your hosts, Zach, and my other host,
Kyle,
is here as well. And
Sure.
what are we going to be talking about today, Kyle? A little bit of
Well,
yeah.
Go ahead. No.
No, we've got a couple topics we could cover, but
No, I figure it's June.
yep,
You know, they
we're gonna go with that one.
it's a good month. It's a good solid summer month, you know.
It's
School gets off.
Yeah, it's a beautiful month.
Beautiful month. Good
Great
grilling
month for everyone to celebrate.
Celebrate being
Gay. No.
yeah, so I mean, the bastards took it over.
Yeah, well, I mean, one of the best months, like you said, getting out of school, you know,
Yeah,
all of that.
I think a lot of people just associate June with good things, you know.
Oh yeah,
And
well,
like it's one of those months where you can
maybe
almost,
not anymore, but
well, used to be. You could grill out almost every day and just,
oh yeah,
you know, sunshine keeps people happy.
Yep.
But yeah, I think what started off, I mean, these pride events have always kind of been filth. You know, gay people, but naked gay people running around in the streets, and, like, doing blatant sex acts.
Mm-hmm.
And they're doing this in a place where children can see and whatnot. And I feel like all that's against the law. I don't know how they skirt it. And I don't see why any cop isn't just out there, like, not arresting these people for being, you know, indecent. You know, I thought there were laws on the books against this stuff.
Dude, there's, I think people are latching on to, like, all of the strides that we've made in our country for civil rights. They're just latching on to that to try to push their own narrative as they're being,
Well, yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's like the special oppressive Olympics, right? Like, who
Yeah,
can
exactly.
be out-oppress who,
Right.
and who's a bigger victim.
Yep.
Yeah, I definitely think that it probably stemmed from, you know, certain sick individuals. Because I do believe that a lot of the, you know, the Harvey Milk or whatever, I think they dedicated a day to him or something, but he was like a pedophile. A lot of these, like, gay activists were all pedophiles. And it's like, well, why are they pushing sexuality? You know, why be proud about who you like to have sex with and who you like to, you know, let have sex with you?
Yeah.
Why is that any focal point in anyone's life at all?
Right.
But they want to make it a whole month to be proud.
Yep.
And ruin our lives. So
It's just, I mean, all it is just look at me and how hard my life has been. So give me a month for everyone to sing my praises because I've been so oppressed. You know what I mean?
It gives me more credence to believe in Christ and whatnot, because it's like all this stems from, like, I feel like it's the fact that we have Pride Month and, like, all this stuff's winning. I feel like it's like the devil kind of showing his hand and, like, winning, you know, because, like, all this, when it comes to that stuff, who says what they're doing is fine, they're praying to Satan, you know, like, they're saying they're non-religious, but a lot of them are just flat out Satanists.
Yeah.
And the Church of Satan is super gay, and, you know,
well, when you have
Baphomet is trans.
Yeah, when you have all of these things, I mean, here's what I think it is. I think it's just a lot of people wanting to do what they want to do. There's really no, like, self-control. There's no, there's no one to sit back and say, wow, you're really doing that? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
Gross. You know, it's not even just gross. It's just like, why is that what you're doing? There's no, there's no shame. People have no shame anymore. They want to be proud of whatever they want to do. And so when that kind of thing is encouraged, that's when these kinds of things happen. The Pride Month and it's just a matter of time. I know we talked a couple episodes ago about the whole NAMBLE thing.
And that's what I'm saying. A lot of these are the same people. That were pushing these things back in the day.
Right. And just like that sexual, like, immorality type stuff, or not even just sexual immorality, but like a strong, people have strong sexual urges that they just can't, I mean, they can't find it the conventional way. So they have to find these weird things to be into to.
How much of it is kink? For some of those people to just be out in public, and, you know, the ones they probably get off just being naked in front of kids.
Yeah,
you know, and it just being like yeah, I can do this, and that probably gets them off in more ways than you can think of, man.
Oh yeah. Well,
I mean, if any, like, you don't play online video games, but like, I almost can't stand them nowadays because it's like the lobbies went from being super abusive and aggressive to just so gay. It's just
yeah.
and I mean like to that. It's almost to that point where like you'd insult someone by calling them gay, and they'd be like, "Yeah, I am gay," you know. Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, oh, well, it doesn't hurt them. See, you know, they just captured it and made you look like a fool now.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's what it's all now, you know.
Right. Right. Yeah. I think it's people just doing whatever they want to, and you know, when they're met with resistance, they just try to find a way to justify why they're doing it and why it's okay. You know what I mean? And so this is what we're seeing now is you get enough people. I mean, combine the internet coming to, you know, the social media and all of that. It's like everybody, we've said it on other episodes too, when the internet kind of started, it was a way for everybody that had these weird thoughts and these crazy ideas to find each other.
They all found each other.
And so then they just feel even more justified to, you know, feel good doing what they're doing without, you know, and they don't feel that there should be consequences because look at how many other people, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's, I don't know, the whole, the whole sexual perversion thing. I think, you know, I think being gay, I think I've made myself clear on this one, but I think being gay itself is a sexual perversion. You know, it's not natural. It doesn't make any sense biologically, nor, I mean, it's spelled out pretty clearly in the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, this is just one of those things where, you know, how many times have we said, oh, we don't care what you do in the privacy of your own home, right? But the problem is, and we've said this several times, the problem is that when you start shoving it down our throats and trying to force us to believe it or celebrate it, that's when I'm going to have a problem with it.
Well, yeah, they want us to believe that there's more than two genders and all these different sexual preferences, and that's what makes you who you are. And I tell you, if that's what makes you who you are, you're just a sad, miserable person. And it's, man, it's exactly what you said. It's, you know, enforcing people to kind of do what they want to do with stuff that just makes them feel good. And it's all self-centered, victim class, you know, type of thing where it's like you're going to have this person who's just nothing but jealous and envious. They're not going to accomplish anything on their own. They're just going to want what others have, that others have worked for. And yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying with it's like you've given these souls to the devil to play, because that's all his teaching. I mean, it's all, you know, worship self, stuff like that. And that's what the gay stuff, the trans stuff, all these things come down to. But when you have the Department of Education and whatnot, like, you know, saying Happy Pride Month and like posting stuff like that, it's like, what are you doing?
Well, and one of the, you know, here's the other thing too. A lot of people will say, well, if you don't care what people do behind closed doors and all that, then why should all of this matter? Why should all this matter? But I mean, it's getting to the point now where people are afraid to, school boards are afraid to not include gay materials in their schooling because otherwise they're going to be hit with a civil lawsuit because.
Yeah, I'd rather be hit with the civil lawsuit than, you know, manipulate and deceive these children.
Well, I mean, that's kind of my point. But there's weak individuals out there who just don't want to be sued. You know, we don't want to be sued. We don't want to be looked at bad.
Weak men will bring hard times, Zach. And I think that's where we're steaming towards.
Yeah. Well, I think I mean, the fact that all of this is allowed in the first place, I think, tells us that we're already there. You know what I mean?
I don't think we've peaked though.
Oh no, maybe not. But I think, the whole Pride Month thing. You know, I think I've said it before too. The whole naming months after certain things. You know, I think we talked about Black History Month.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this shouldn't be something that we are. First of all, Black History Month, that should be something that is talked about all year round, not just in February, right?
Well, it should just be People History Month.
Right, exactly. This doesn't even deserve its own month. There's not There's not civil rights being violated. You can get married. You can have the sexual relationship with your partner.
Even still, none of that was rights. Like,
Yeah, well, I mean, the right to
they're
be.
still complaining. Like, they're saying
that's
being
what I mean.
misgendered is violence against them.
Exactly.
And
Yep.
you know, I mean, it's crazy, man.
You nailed
No,
it on the head.
is-
It's all about
And I think
being a victim.
where we're at now is like these things have attracted a lot more of the, you know, immoral, just deviant type people to join the ranks and kind of, you know, do what they will. I mean, it is a good time to be a pedophile because it is like, you could just go out and do all these things. And if anyone says anything about you and what you're doing, well, you can call them a bigot and a pedophile, snap a snapshot on them, throw it on the internet, and this person's going to be hunted down, and
Right.
you know, death threats are going to be sent to them, you know, et cetera, et cetera. Like it is insane. Like we are in that stage of you know, where the sin is celebrated, and you know, the straight and narrow is what's being downed upon. You know.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's the only reason things have been able to progress up to this point is because people are just serving themselves over others. You know, it's all about me, and never about, how can I help someone else today? You know what I mean? There's not that mindset just doesn't exist anymore. It's all about me. I want to make money. I want to feel good. I want to do this. I want to do that. And, you know, God forbid anybody that gets in my way. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's what this world has become, unfortunately.
Well, that's even a hard thing to drive yourself to, man. Like
it is.
I'll you know, talk myself through, you know, if I see like trash or something, like, you know, on the side of the road, you know, because where I'm working, it's constantly a thing.
Yeah.
And you just like, do I pick it up?
Yeah.
Do I leave it for the next person? And then you really think about it. It's like, there's not going to be a next person.
Right.
You
Exactly.
know, like if I don't do it, no one's going to do it. And I feel like picking that mentality just leads you to at least doing the more selfless things.
Well, yeah. I mean, here's a good example. You're going down the road, right? And because we've had some storms recently, you're going down the road, a country road, bunch of trees, and there's a tree limb down. It's at night. There's a tree limb down, and you're lucky that you didn't smash into it, and that's hanging out in the middle of the road, right?
Yeah.
You know, what are you going to do? You're just going to swerve out of the way, not my problem, you know? Or are you going to try to move it? I mean, that's kind of one of those things that you're talking about, you know? It's like, if I can move it, and try to avoid right. But like if you can move it and you can prevent someone else from getting very hurt, you know, it's like, well, why not?
There was one time we were driving and saw an accident happen, and, you know, guy A hit guy B driving too fast, didn't pay attention, clipped him, and they both did, like, you know, the V maneuver on the highway. One goes to one side, one goes to the other. So we get out and we run and check on them. They're both fine. So, you know, we're like, all right, and we just got back in our car and dipped.
Yeah.
But we were just making sure they were, because it happened right in front of us.
Yeah.
So we're like, oh, first responders actually, because it was, you know, one of my Army buddies was there too, and we're just like that action thing kicks in.
Oh, yeah.
You know? It's like, there you go.
Oh, yeah, your adrenaline rushes, and
But it was funny because it's like, they're fine. All right, dipped out before the cops could show up.
Yeah.
I don't want to be stuck here. And
oh, yeah.
you know, we got places to be.
Yep.
But yeah, I think the Pride Month stuff is gross. I think the celebrations and whatever, I don't know what it is they're actually celebrating. I just think it's an excuse to be, you know, just immoral. And it sucks because it's like these festivities happen in the major metropolitan areas, at least. You know, they're not really happening everywhere.
Right.
I have noticed as far as like this year goes, it hasn't been too bad for my personal life yet. Like in my day to day, I've seen like the Hamas people, the American branch of Hamas is is out, and I don't think they get along with the Pride protesters. Probably because they see them out naked and dancing, and they're like, "What are you naked and dancing about? We have people dying. It's a genocide over here."
Yeah.
So they're all at odds against each other. But you know, these sides eat their own all the time. So I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
It's not going to do anything.
Well, that's the other thing too is when you open up this alphabet of stuff, you're not going to have other people that agree with you. I mean, there's going to be,
we should have Joe pull up the whole thing, whatever it is right now.
What do you mean?
Because it's a LGBTQSI
good
plus
Lord.
2 W
Yeah.
X Y and Z A B C D E F G.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, realistically, it doesn't even matter.
No.
It's just so.
Especially because they have gay, bi, lesbian,
Yeah.
and then trans, and okay, well now it's all contradictory.
Exactly.
And then like black and brown people are in there for some reason. You didn't know that?
Really?
Yeah. You didn't
So
know
they
that?
lumped-
That's
so-
what I'm saying. We should get in all the things because what's that? Is that all the things?
So then how far away are we from people becoming transracial?
I think people have tried. People have definitely tried.
That's
This
insane.
is funny. All right, so this is the acronym right now. It's LGBTQIA2S+. All right, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and trans, queer, and questioning, intersex, asexual or agender, and two-spirit. The plus sign indicates additional identity terms. So pretty much it's a never-ending acronym.
Anything. Yeah, exactly.
Here, do you want to whip that at
Yeah.
like a frisbee? Thanks for that, Joe. So yeah, I mean that's it's outrageous. When I saw that thing kept getting large because it started with LGB, right? I believe it was LGB.
Yeah, I think so.
And it kept growing and growing. And I memed on this since I was like a kid. And it's like, oh, they're just gonna keep adding stuff. They're just gonna, it was kind of like when the Kids Bop CDs. There's Kids Bops, but then there was like the not kids ones. There were.
Oh, now? Yeah.
Now music. I'm like, I'd make the meme, now music 23.
Yeah.
And like here we are, they're like now music like 50 or so.
Right. Yeah.
Whatever they're on.
Whatever it is, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, see that's more fun than Pride Month.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, here's the thing, right? If you're going to celebrate things, why not pick actual good things to celebrate? Have like a music month. Celebrate music artists and all of that. Well, some of them. But either way, the love for music. Okay. Yeah, let's have
It's
a music month. Right. Yeah, and so, maybe iTunes runs a deal on anybody that's actually paying for songs anymore.
Get the capitalist approach in there.
No, but I mean, I don't know. I think, why aren't we having celebrations for good things? Why aren't we naming months after good things?
Man, that's when you start to question. It's like, are they just trying to ruin America's rep and all these things and make us? Because like all these things, it's going to come down in the history books.
Well, see, but Kyle, that would force them to actually think outside of themselves for a higher purpose, other than just themselves. See, that's one thing too. This whole thing, like, I think there are people that are using this whole, the whole LGBT whatever you just said. I think people are definitely using that for an agenda, but the people that are backing it, like the people out here, just the regular Joe Blows that are out here supporting it and stuff, they have no idea. They just want, the people
Love
that
is
are,
love.
yeah, exactly. It's nothing more than that. It's nothing more than that.
Yeah.
The people organizing the stuff and pushing the stuff out on the social media apps and all that, yeah, they've definitely gotten, there's an agenda there. But then there's other people where they don't care. As long as they're able to do what they want to do when they want to do it, that's all that matters to them. And so, again, that breeds that everything is all about me mentality. So I don't know. I don't know what it would take. I mean, I don't think there's any turning around from it. I think it's always going to be a
going
thing.
on for way too long.
Yeah,
It should have been squashed a long time ago.
Well, but then again, you think of some like ancient civilizations, and right when you hear about the crazy homosexuality in like ancient Greece and Rome, all these places, you hear about these crazy stories, and then at some point it stopped.
Yeah, after some sort of crazy event.
Yeah, well, right. or you just, they just realized, oh, hey, maybe we're being kind of stupid about this. Maybe their birth rate went down.
I mean, the global birth rate right now is down.
That's what I mean. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it's going to require, but I'll tell you, the more and more I see stuff like this, like it makes me. A lot of people say this, but it really worries me about how far this is going to go. And I'm not just talking about the pedophilia. Of course, that's a concern as well. But I'm worried about what kind of ideals are just going to be pushed and crowdfunded for everyone to accept or else. One of the things we know from the Bible, we know that there's going to be a mark. There's going to be a mark of the beast that everyone is going to convince you that you need or that you should want.
Hell, I thought it was the COVID shot.
Yeah, well, that's what some people thought.
I think it's a cell phone, though.
A cell phone? Yeah. I mean, it could be something that. Well, I think it specifically says that it will actually be something in your body, something that
does it really?
Is. Yeah, I believe it is. I don't quote me on that. Maybe that's what Joey's looking up right now.
And it's the whole you need it to buy and sell and.
Yeah, it basically you need it to live, to do anything. But yeah, that's one thing. Like, it just makes me really nervous about where this world is going to get to, what point it's going to get to, where people are just kind of buying and selling these agendas, and everyone's just going to go along with it because they're afraid to, not meet status quo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think if America falls and all this stuff keeps going as planned and everything happens, this great collapse of our empire happens, I think the world's going to just enter a huge dark period because we're the only free nation.
Right.
Now you've got some South American countries coming up, they kind of, with everything going on, the stranglehold on dictators and shit that we've installed around the world is kind of going by the wayside.
Right.
So some of these South American countries are kind of, I feel like they have a real chance of the people kind of taking back over.
Yeah.
Oh, Joey's got stuff. You got it?
Yeah, I know. Let's see.
Can you read that?
Also, it causes all, both small and great, both rich and poor, both free and slave, to be marked on the right hand or the forehead, so that no one can buy or sell unless he has the mark, that is, the name of the beast or the number of its name. So that's Revelations, what chapter is that? Revelation 13, verse 16 through 17. So yeah, and there's a lot of there's a lot of people that think it's going to be a microchip that they put into your hand, which honestly, I mean,
could be Neuralink. Elon
yeah,
Musk's
yeah, Neuralink. Yep.
Maybe he's the Antichrist and his Neuralink is the mark.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I mean, they get to that point where they're already experimenting with the tattoo payment systems on your hands or whatever.
Barcodes. People have whole barcodes put on their back. And
right. And like get a little chip on planted in your hand, in your palm or something.
Yep.
You can just go up and it's so convenient.
Yeah.
You don't even have to
look
take
at
out your wallet out of your
exactly.
back of your
mine will be my OnlyFans account.
Yeah. Well, I mean, think about it. Your phone. You can set up Apple Pay and just tap your phone on the card reader. And it.
That's what I mean. Like with the whole digital ID and all that stuff that they were talking about back in the day. It's like that's a cell phone.
Well, and this is something too. Social credit scores, which we already know are happening in other countries. So these social credit scores, yet another way for them to watch you, and
that's one of the things. So like one of the high social credit scored, because the ESG is social credit. ESG is what all the companies, which. That's why, that's not why, but how they always, like the American companies always turn their symbols gay during this month.
Yeah.
But then it's the meme. Then you go to the same ones in the Middle East branch.
Yeah.
And they're the same. Like they haven't changed them at all.
Yep.
It's because they're tolerant to some religions, but not all.
Yep. Exactly. It's just like, and that's the other thing too, being a Christian and saying, first of all, I'm never afraid to tell somebody that I don't think that being gay is the way things are supposed to be. It's not what God intended, right?
Well, if it was, we wouldn't know because we wouldn't exist.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah. So it's not what God intended, and if it's not what God intended, then we should not actively promote it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. We all sin. We're all sinners, right? No matter what, we're all sinners. So I'm not saying that we should try to restrain ourselves from.
Yeah. And just because we can do something doesn't mean we should
exactly
do
right.
That's all it comes down to.
Yeah.
God gave us the free will to do a lot of things. Doesn't mean you should.
Right.
Hey, I have hands. With these hands, I could strangle you.
Right. Exactly.
Doesn't mean I should.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
So it's just crazy, and that's the thing too, where people say, "Oh, well, you shouldn't need religion to teach you those things," and it's like, dude, I'm sorry, but like. People do need structure and moral teachings to know that, yeah, you shouldn't just strangle that person just because. Like, yeah. I'm sorry, but third world is third world. And if you don't know anything about it, people need to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Because it's causing real bad trouble for us.
Yeah, exactly. You don't need religion to teach you that. Where do you think we learned these from?
Well, that's the great atheist mind. They've transcended now.
Yeah,
they know it now. It's good now. Now they don't need the God anymore. It's just like a throwaway.
Yeah.
Oh, I got that. I'm good. Now I don't need it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But what I was kind of saying earlier with the companies thing and the ESG is that's how they get their money. And it's a new system of credit. And it's like that whole, how many women are on your board? What's the race makeup of your company?
Mm-hmm.
How many gay people do you have?
The whole DEI.
Quite literally, they want to know how many gay people you have. Now, you might ask, how in the world would they find that out?
Yeah.
It's because they got to a point where, and I don't think this is legal, but when I got in at one company, it was actually part of like the new hire paperwork and asked me my sexual preference and all that stuff.
Really?
Yes. And I'm pretty sure that that's illegal, but this is the new age and...
Yeah, I didn't think that was legal.
Thing. And I was I was not very cool with any of this stuff. And anytime we had like surveys, it was funny at the company. I'm always like, stay away from ESG, like this is not good.
Yeah, that's crazy. Wow, you actually had a question.
That's where we're at now, man.
Wow,
it was like a whole portion like aimed towards that type of questionnaire, like. A bunch of questions. And yeah, like one was like the specific, like, who do you prefer to have sex with type thing. And it's just like, what in the, like, dude.
Yeah, what?
It really made me, well, let's just say when I left this place and like my resume, I made sure to put on there that I'm a patriotic, American and like put certain buzzwords to say that I'm not for any of this crap.
Right, right.
Because like, holy shit, dude.
Yeah. Good.
But yeah, I mean, anyways, that stuff is that is social credit. So like they have to push this having these people, and more often than not, these people tend gay, lesbian, trans, or whatever, tend to be activists. Women tend to be
100%.
activists, and then you get a bunch of these activists in your company, and it's getting taken over. You're getting kicked out.
Yep.
People are getting fired. People that have been there forever, because they called this person he or she because they don't look like the opposite gender that they're trying to be. They got offended, and now
dude, see, and that's one thing that I really don't like. I mean, most of the time when you're talking to, so I used to be a manager at a fast food chain, and there was one person that was flamboyantly gay, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they I mean, it wasn't that they were gay that I had a problem with. It was their attitude, their constant attitude. And by attitude, I mean that of like a 14-year-old girl.
Mm.
The nasty attitude.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
A lot of gay people adapt that teenage girl persona.
Yes. Well, men, right? Men.
Yeah, the gay men.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because the gay women are lesbians.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Lesbians?
So,
man.
Yeah, but I mean, there's always some sort of attitude or some sort of what am I yeah, attitude. Attitude's the only word I can think of right now, but it's like there has to be a persona of it. It's like you need to let people know that you're gay by doing X, Y, and Z. And that whole mentality, that is what turns me off. It does. We're past the fact that you're gay now. It's just your attitude that stinks that I don't want any part of.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like,
oh yeah, dude. They're the people that no one wants to tell. Like if they're doing something wrong, no one wants to say, "Hey, you're doing that wrong," because they know, everybody knows they're the person that's gonna blow up, go off the handle, flip a freaking lid over something so small where it could have just been like, "Oh, sorry."
Exactly. Yeah, it's crazy, and see, I don't know. A lot of this. What are you
having troubles, dude?
Yeah, I
trying
can
to
see
get it
that.
in the mic, but the mic's in a great spot. I don't want to move it.
Well, we've got a button for that.
I like how you tried to hit it.
Yeah,
but you were afraid of hitting the other button.
Yeah, there
it is right next to that button.
Dangerous.
Right in between.
Oh boy. So, yeah, man. I don't know. I think it has just kind of become a trend. That's how I feel. It's become more of a trend to be gay or accepting.
Oh, dude, 100%.
Like
I think it's a trend. Like I think even amongst most gay people, it's just like the new hot
100%.
thing to do. It's like bell-bottom pants.
And then when someone calls you on it and says, oh well, I don't really think that that's right. I don't think that then they start flipping out because they've never been challenged in their group of friends, and so they've never been challenged on their viewpoints, so they just start freaking out and they do the only thing that, well, teenage girls do, which is try to make you feel bad for what you said, never mind what we're actually trying to talk about and have a discussion about.
In the most irrational manner ever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like most teenage girls.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't know about your daughter, but my oldest daughter is starting to get into the teenage attitude, and I can't stand it. I cannot stand it. What's that? Yeah, she's...
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
She did already have an attitude, Zach.
Yeah, she definitely got an attitude.
You're F there, dude.
Yeah, I know.
It's going to be rough.
Yeah,
I think the other one's more chill. That's going to be your saving grace.
Well, my youngest, she's just still in that phase of just wanting to have fun. You know what I mean? Like she's just a kid. She wants to have fun. She doesn't care what other people. Yeah,
that's what came to mind.
Yeah, cue the Cyndi Lauper song. Yeah, but yeah, I think she's just being a kid. She's just being the stereotypical kid. Like, maybe she doesn't listen sometimes, but that's because she's too busy having fun. She's so distracted with trying to have fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. That's kind of...
Well, that's nice.
Yeah, so I don't know. My oldest, and she's a good kid. I say that she's all full of attitude and everything, but she's a good kid. She has this, for whatever reason, she has this urge to try to be cool, try to fit in. And it's like that got her in big trouble this last weekend.
Yeah.
She decided.
Yep.
Yeah. She decided that. So she comes up to me and she says, maybe I've told you this story, but she comes up and she says, "Daddy, can I go to the park with my friend?"
Oh yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so she says, "Oh, why not? It just feels like you're so controlling sometimes." And I'm like, "Oh, heck nah." And so, well, anyway, things progress. And this weekend, she decides that she was going to go with her friend and another friend to the park.
Oh.
Without us knowing. She went over to the friend's house, right? We knew she was going there because the parents were there. We knew she was going there. But she decided, oh, my parents aren't here. They're not going to know. So they walked right over to the park. Again, this is stuff that I used to do too, right?
Yeah.
But she walked over to the park, and the only reason we knew was because they were talking to each other from the other room, And so one of them said something about walking to the park. And we were like, you know. And so I asked her, I gave her the chance to tell the truth. I'm like, hey, you want to tell me anything? He's like, what? Like, not what do you mean? You know, it's what?
I got to play this one out to see what they're
Yeah,
talking about.
right.
What specifically?
Yeah. And
do they know?
so after, I gave her a few chances, and she finally, I told her, I said, okay, if you didn't go to the park by yourself, because she was claiming she went with a parent, and I said, okay, tomorrow, because it's already late tonight, tomorrow I'm going to be calling your friend's mom and this adult that you said that went with you, which we don't know, by the way. So she finally comes out with it, and she's like, yeah, we went by ourselves. And like, I felt kind of betrayed, right?
Yeah.
But I knew that I had to keep my cool, because if I just sat there and yelled at her, she'd just do it again, and then just sit through the yelling the next time, and then she's good, But that was one of those things where it's like I think she has a pressure, but from some of her friends, not necessarily that they're pushing her to, but she has a pressure to kind of stay cool and stay upbeat with her friends, even though her parents have such quote unquote strict rules,
Right. Yeah,
But
I don't know, man.
Testing
you.
Yeah, not only that, I think she just genuinely doesn't understand why we wouldn't allow her to go somewhere by herself with her friends. And I've tried to explain to her, right? But I mean, a kid being a kid, they don't really look at those things. They don't really think about all of the bad things that are out there, because they really haven't experienced them or seen them,
Right.
And so, it's like I'm not going to sit there. I'm not going to sit there and explain what all could happen, because I don't want to scare her. But at the same time, it's like there are bad people out there that do bad things, and I just don't want anything to happen to you.
Right.
But they, of course, like we were as kids, they just, mom and dad are being so controlling.
Yeah.
So
we don't have to worry about that. There's no park they could even walk to.
Yeah. Yeah. See, we've got 2 parks within like 2-3 blocks of us, right? And so it's really not that big of a deal for her to just come ask me, hey, Daddy, can you take me to the park? Me and my friends want to go to the park. Okay.
Yeah.
No big deal. I'll go with you. But instead, she wants to go with her friends without an adult. It's like, come on, kid. But
yeah, I think part of it too is the technology aspect has given these kids like the they think they're more mature.
Oh yeah,
more so than we were as kids.
Yeah.
Like we were the can't wait to grow up, so such and such, yada yada.
Yep.
And now it's like they're just like, I'm already grown up, I'm already mature. Like,
yep.
I don't need to.
Well, and that's another thing. I mean, yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the main reasons that we don't let. I think you feel the same way, or you do the same thing, but we don't allow our kids on any sort of social media.
No.
Yeah.
God,
no. I mean, I don't know. We all know who Chris Hansen is.
Yeah.
There's a reason that the dude had millions and millions of views all over the place. It's because people are.
Why do you know who Chris
up.
Hansen is?
What's that?
Why do you know who Chris
I
Hansen is?
shook his hand once. I mean,
He brought him pizza.
Yeah, that dude. Yeah.
That was Zach.
Right.
Hey, Chris
boy.
Hansen, I brought you pepperoni.
Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah. So I mean, we're kind of reiterating things that we've said in the past, but at the same time, again, this stuff isn't going to go away. And I don't think people should stop talking about it, especially those that. The only thing I would urge people when they are talking about this kind of stuff is, especially if you're Christian, you don't ever want it to come off like you're a Berean Baptist church person, You know what I mean?
I don't know what that means.
The Berean Baptist Church were the ones that were protesting outside of veterans' funerals because they were gay.
I thought that was the Westboro.
Oh, yes. What am I thinking? Berean Baptist?
No idea.
I have no idea.
no
Westboro,
idea.
yeah. Westboro. Yeah, Westboro.
Yeah, those guys were insane. That was a cult.
Yeah, oh yeah. That was really bad. Yeah. And so that's what I would urge people. It's like okay, when you're talking about this kind of stuff, like, we've made a couple of jokes here and there, but at the same time, it's just to a Christian, it's concerning because we have a world that's just kind of falling into their own desires, and nothing good comes of that. I mean, look at history. Nothing good comes from just the few's desires. You know what I mean? It's like nothing really good comes from that. A select few forcing their desires on everyone else.
Democracy.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I think there is a tendency that anytime anyone brings up that they're a Christian, and especially when they're talking about gay rights and stuff like that, I think automatically everyone just sees any Christian, or some people see any Christian as like Hitler.
Oh, for sure, dude.
And it's not like that. It's not like that at all. It's just, I mean, if you start pushing me,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to try to hold my lid as much as I can.
Sure.
But, you're going to push far enough and you're going to get the wild side. You know what I mean?
Find out.
Yeah. So like when
That's
you have
how
these.
it goes, man.
Yeah. Well,
don't tread on me.
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
a reason why it's a rattlesnake.
That's exactly it. I mean, realistically, do whatever you're gonna do. I can't stop you, right? But just don't force it on me.
Yeah. Yep. I have a problem with it just being this whole made up thing and shoved in our faces nonstop, and the corporation. And it really bugs me to see such stupidity, to have these people that they hate what they call capitalism, and they conflate it to fascism all the time, not realizing that we currently live in a fascist system. They're just so stupid that they're actively supporting those, all because these companies just changed their symbol to a trans or rainbow flag or something during this month.
Well,
that's all it takes.
Yeah, that's the other.
And the politicians.
Oh yeah.
The staffers of the politicians.
Right.
They put out their little Pride Month,
Yep.
whatever you want to call it. And these aren't sincere people. None of these people care about these people more than other people. It's just a pandering thing.
Yes.
It's just a get you on our side thing.
Exactly. And that's another reason why I think it's just a fad. They've made it. They've made it into that. They've made it as a product that they can sell.
Yeah.
That's all it is. And people are buying it by the droves.
And to see this year, like, Target was canceling their Pride thing because of how much backlash they had gotten. So I don't know if they're still if it's just a limited amount of stuff, or just they're completely not doing the displays and all that stuff that they did before. The fact that other leftist organizations are protesting them, their protests are running counter to each other. They're not really. It's like two different sects of leftism.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing too. Is, I mean, they'll just eat each other apart.
Yeah.
I don't know. See,
that's what they're gonna do, and that's what they have been doing. I mean, Black Lives Matter. It was the same thing.
Yeah.
You're not really hearing much about Black Lives Matter anymore.
Right. Yeah, and that's another good example too. That was a fad for a little while, right up until people weren't buying it anymore.
Well, it got violent once their Chaz chop and people were dying and stuff. Then the reason they were pushing it though is because the support for it was so high, and it was only improving.
Right, yeah.
So as soon as they started getting violent, and the public normies were like, "Yeah, I don't want anything to do with that anymore," then it started going down, down, down. Then they're like, "All right, let's get kick that baby to the wayside."
Damn it! I
nice,
missed.
you hit Joe's foot.
I'll pick it up in a minute
with the assist.
Oh, he's gonna throw it back at me with his foot.
Come on, I didn't do it. I would have laughed though if it plopped up into your glass cup there. That would have been hilarious. So, but yeah, man, I'm cool. You know what? If you want to bang whoever you want to bang, you know,
Whatever,
go for it,
dude.
bang away.
I mean,
But-
I
but
would
seriously.
I would try to talk to people and just try to figure things out. You know, like for
I'm
me,
not talking to anyone who's gay. I'm not gonna be like, hey
Yeah.
man, listen, maybe God didn't want you to be sticking your, like this is gonna get to be X-rated real fast if you
Yeah,
want to hear
yeah.
my jokes on this stuff. 'Cause
Well-
I can get raunchy.
yeah. Well,
I just don't want to because it makes me sick.
realistically, like I don't know. I guess I just don't know how I want to say what I'm thinking. I would never turn away someone that's, outright gay, from church, right? And I would
Well,
always,
yeah.
and I would talk to them. But if it comes to the point where you're just trying to convince me of, homosexuality is just okay and you do whatever you want, it's like, okay, well, we can agree to disagree, but yeah, but do your own thing. Don't expect me. You know where I stand on it. Don't expect me to change my mind, and don't expect me to partake in anything that has to do with your pride for this. You know what I mean?
Brilliant.
Your sarcasm is fantastic, Kyle.
That's brilliant. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I wouldn't actively go out of my way to be mean to gay people, but
Right.
if I saw, a bunch of naked people in the street with the flag dancing around doing gay stuff, I'm gonna call them gay.
Well, and it was just like, and it was just
I'm
like
not gonna
down
be
by you,
nice.
right? Well, it's like down by you. There was a local
They
library.
did one of those stupid drag shows.
Like a
book
drag
reading drag thing.
Yeah.
Whatever, yeah.
Yeah, and people were in an uproar.
People
over
were
it.
not happy about it, dude.
No,
This is a
no.
small town.
It's a very small town.
I'm surprised it was even happening in the first place.
Yeah, me too.
But
Me
there
too.
are a bunch of dude. I feel like it's a cycle, right? The weak men bring hard time cycle, but like I feel like simultaneously there's another cycle happening, and it's the single old women grow up bitter as hell and make
Yes.
everything gay and trans. Man, that's like
Yeah.
all they have is to just.
Yep.
just
Well,
manipulate
honestly,
everybody else.
think about this, and by no means am I any sort of philanthropist that studies human behavior or anything like that. But think about it. All of the emotional, the emotional work that is done by women throughout their lives, especially when they have kids. All of that emotional effort is put into taking care of your kids, teaching them, all of this stuff. And when you don't have kids and you don't have anywhere else to put that emotional effort, it goes into all of
They
this.
start joining the school boards and getting into politics.
Yeah.
and
Well,
stuff,
yes. Well,
ruining things.
I mean, yeah, getting into politics or just trying to push that emotional effort out to anybody that will listen. And so then they start pandering to anyone that'll listen.
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of makes sense. I don't know. To me, in my brain anyway, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah,
'Cause-
it does, man. Like these people, they're so bitter.
Yeah. Well, and then,
they grew up with the lies of feminism, and some of them still believe it well into their
Oh, yeah.
miserable years.
Oh, yeah.
But some of them,
Did you just say they're miserable years?
some of them, while they approach these miserable years, are. Well, you know what I'm saying, dude? They're all short-haired, old biddies, nothing to look at, nothing anyone wants to deal with. Like they're all like the same archetype, like
Yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons Gollum-esque creature.
Mhm.
Like God, and there's so many of them now. The feminism has created they're not gonna have anyone to support them. Like when they're old to the point where they're gonna be put into a nursing home, what's gonna happen? Hopefully, like what are they gonna move to Canada? Like, or are they just expecting that leftism wins here in America and we're gonna have a medical assistance and dying program to support all the miserable year feminists?
Yeah. I mean,
And you know what? They all look like Rosie O'Donnell in my head.
yeah. Yeah, there's kind of a theme, even like younger quote unquote feminists.
Mm-hmm.
There's kind of a theme, and they're usually the ones that
It's like militant.
and we'll just say they're the ones that would probably have a hard time finding a date just based off of their looks.
Yeah. I'm curious
That's the nicest way to.
if that plays into their thinking at all.
Well, you mean the bitterness?
I'm sure it's completely all of why they're the way they are.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know, man. I think you're right. I think the worst things that are happening nowadays are just being magnified because of the outlets that people receive their news from, social media and all these things.
Yeah,
Everything's just magnified to the point where it's this huge social issue when it doesn't need to be. I mean,
we're at the point where the two, like, if you want to call it the major left and right cable news networks, are, if you watch one and then watch the other, it's like a completely different world you're living in, and that's just cable news. Now get with the nit and gritty with some of these internet personalities, like some of these people are going to get crazy, like, and they're going to get more factual, and they're going to have different theories, not TV safe theories and stuff, and not narrative safe stuff, and different things from left field that'll get you thinking about other things. And yeah, man, I don't know. I just, the gay pride stuff too, man. It's just so intertwined with everything, and then it's wild. As soon as this month's over, it's like they couldn't get back to it fast enough. Like, go back to changing to their original symbols, or the sports teams and all. Everybody that changes their symbol changes it back like day 1 of July.
Yep.
But it just sucks because it's like, and we get 2 days for veterans, but it's like there's so much more important things you could devote a month to.
There should be, is there a veteran month?
There should be.
Why isn't there?
Why isn't it June?
Yeah. Why? Oh boy. Yes, there are much better things that we could celebrate.
This is, I think going forward we'll just call June just Grill Month.
Yes.
In our inner circle here, man. Let's see if we can make that stick. It's just Grill Month.
I like it. I like Grill Month. Way better than.
Yeah. And if you're, if you're more in an urban environment, we could call it Block Party Month.
What about Juneteenth?
I love Juneteenth.
Juneteenth?
I love Juneteenth because they just gave us another grilling holiday.
Yeah?
The more, the better, man. Bring them all on. I wish Black History Month had more grilling holidays, too. I mean, Juneteenth basically is like Black History Month, but in June.
In one day, yeah.
In the day. Like, we threw that one so that in the future we'd have a grilling day.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Everybody likes grilling days.
That's true. That's true. I like grilling.
Me too. With that said, man, what are you drinking on?
What am I drinking on? Well, I'm drinking on Capital Brewery's seasonal.
Just opened that too. Did you even get a drink of that yet?
Yeah, I did. Yep. It's how do you think that's pronounced? Maybach or Maybach?
I think it's Maybach.
Yeah, Maibock. Rich golden color, noble hop spice, honey malt sweet. So it's interesting. It's definitely much interesting than what we were drinking just before it. It's definitely a different feel.
Definitely not the mix of beers that I picked up.
Yeah, but no, it's all right. I mean, I'm actually gonna take another swig of it to give a better review. Gotta love the silence while I.
There's definitely some honey. Well, I took a drink too. I'm sorry, but there's definitely some honey going on in there.
Yeah, there's definitely that. I definitely taste that.
Oh, honey malt, sweet. Yeah,
it's like a. Yeah, it's kind of odd because you do feel that you taste the honey in it, but you also taste the spiciness of it too. Like you taste some spice in there, which is kind of weird.
Like each gulp's almost like taking an oversized spoonful of honey. Like when it's too much, where it kind of gets you and it kind of hurts a little. Like,
yeah, I'm not a huge fan of honey to begin with. Honey flavored stuff I like, but I'm not the biggest fan. Like I'm not one of those that I can just take a spoon of honey and just eat it.
Oh man, that's great for your throat.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, if I need to, we've still got it at home, but I'm just not one of those that.
I've moved to moving the using that as a sweetener. So like I don't use sugar anymore. I just honey. But
Yeah,
it's like
and
honey's
that's a good use
so
for it, too.
damn expensive, dude.
Yeah, yeah. Especially if you want to get the good stuff.
Well,
Well, there's got to be.
I mean, it's all honey according to the label.
Yeah. There should be like what do they call honey farms?
Oh, there's tons of
call-
those around here.
Yeah, you
They're
should be able
everywhere.
to get some fresh stuff.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind.
Probably be cheaper too.
Go to an apple orchard.
Apple
Apple orchard. Oh, farmers
a-
market.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. But there's
Yeah.
a really good apple orchard out in Elkhorn area there that's got a winery. So they do all the berry seasons.
Ah,
So they don't do just apple season because I think there's strawberries is coming up.
yeah. Strawberries are usually in June, July.
Yeah. So I think strawberries comes up and that starts their wine. They make fresh wine from those strawberries.
Oh, okay.
But their apple wine.
Strawberry wine.
Oh, dude, apple wine's so good. So, anyways, I'm drinking the same thing as you.
Yeah, it's good. I don't know if I would. I mean, it's not going to be something that I prefer to bring on a warm day because it's heavy.
Definitely not. No,
It's pretty heavy.
Yeah, it's it's really heavy. It's the compare contrast to this
Yeah.
other beer is so insane. So the other one that we keep mentioning too, of course, New Glarus, our favorite brewery company, but they had this like specialty beer. You know, it's like one of their 4-pack cases, and it's apple ale, and I like you. This is one of those things where you can take a sip, it's delicious. You can take a giant gulp, it's delicious.
Yeah.
Like there's no there's no overly sweet. It's like, oh man, it's like the perfect cup of apple juice.
You know what I liked about this too is it actually had some weight to it. Like
it wasn't just like one of those like apple seltzer water things.
Yeah,
like
or a cider.
cider. Yeah,
It was an actual ale. It was like a bodied ale,
right.
but it had the apple in it.
Well, if you read it, they use a brown ale to begin with.
Okay,
If you
It
can,
begins with a brown
if
ale.
you can open your eyes and look at it, because your eyes are terrible.
Maybe.
it's black on dark red. I'm not gonna hold this one against them. And then they put words over like a bronze lettering on the can, where it's just like, yeah, I can't.
Yeah, right. But yeah, it is very good.
Yeah, I
very
think I'm
good.
gonna pick up more of this apple ale, man.
If we could just get that Pear 21 back.
Yeah, this is pretty much taking the place of it until the Pear 21 comes out.
Yeah.
Every time I find one of these really excellent beers, though, that I freaking love, they go away, man.
yeah.
They never come
Yeah.
back. And then
Have we seen any strawberry rhubarb yet from New Glarus?
No.
Out
Not
yet?
yet.
Huh. Because rhubarb, I mean, well, maybe we won't see it until later anyway, but I mean, rhubarb is a huge thing right now.
Yeah.
You know, everyone's
I know
harvesting
some-
their rhubarb.
Rhubarb coffee cake or something. I haven't had that in a while.
Oh, dude. Well, hey, come to church. All the ladies are bringing rhubarb something or another every week.
That's awesome. Maybe
They
we'll
are.
stop in.
Yeah.
I'm here for the rhubarb.
Right. Oh boy. Yeah. Yeah. Rhubarb. I like rhubarb. There's a lot of people out there that don't. But that being said, rhubarb, just to eat it right out of the ground is not very good. You have to load it up with sugar and everything. But
Yeah.
oh, what's that other one? Imperial
Radler?
Radler. Interesting. Huh.
8 point. Whoa. What was that? 8.5, huh?
8.5%? Wow.
Let's
Well, what's
see.
the apple?
It says grapefruit. Oh, it's not that strong. What was it, 5? Is it 5? Doesn't say on there. Does it say on the
It
can?
doesn't say on the can. I thought it was supposed to say on the can.
It'll say it on the box, not the can.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
Yeah. Boxes in the trash bin there.
Yeah, it's all right.
But yeah, they got a couple decent ones. I don't know what the Spotted Cow Grand Cru is. 9%.
Oh,
Ooh. But yeah, the milk chocolate stout too. I've never been one to grab those.
I've had good stouts. I really have, but some of the stout they can just be a little too much. You gotta have it at the right time in the right place. to hit.
I feel like when they're calling for the temperature, I feel I'm thinking it's like that probably plays huge into it. Like
Oh,
you
yeah.
have to drink this specifically at this range of temperature, otherwise it's gonna taste like complete ass.
Yeah, right. Right.
But in these temperatures, it doesn't. It's just a little bit like ass.
Yep. Yep.
But yeah, man. So Apple Ale, New Glarus is a win. This Maybach by Capital Brewery. It's probably good if I didn't have the Apple Ale first. I would probably like this a lot better.
That is a very fair assessment, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow, there's a whole beer schedule, dude. But none of the
Strawberry
beers we want is on it.
rhubarb should have came out yesterday. Or wait, it says 6.4 can. It looks like July.
No, it comes out in July. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say because they have to have time to harvest the rhubarb to actually put into it, I suppose.
I want to try that Imperial one though because it was talking about it. It's got like a grapefruit, and it's super strong.
Interesting.
To me, it doesn't look like you're going to be getting your pear 21.
No, I
not
think
on
that
this
was just
list.
kind of a. I think that was
Yeah,
just
that
kind
sucks.
of a
It was a good year for pears that year. Must have been.
maybe, yeah. What's the other one that we were drinking all?
Oh, Imperial Radler's new.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. What's the one that we were drinking?
What do you mean?
Oofta. Is
Oh.
Oofta still on there?
It's not on this list.
I don't see it.
Yeah. See, I'm wondering if
This is the
wondering.
June through September list.
Oh, I see.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, and Oofta's going to be coming in the
Yeah, I
winter.
wonder how. Yeah, it's kind of cool that they keep their website actually so up to date and these things.
Yeah, we'll have to keep watching that.
But yeah.
All right. Well,
So happy grill month.
happy
everybody.
grill month. And
And let's make sure to make LGBT stand for liberty, guns, beer, and tits.
you heard it. All right. We'll catch everyone on the next one.
See ya.